that is the actual pronunciation.
Oh, nice.
Juancho Hernan Gomez is, I looked it up because I did not want to butcher it. I just say it lamely. It's his only movie because he is an actual professional basketball player, and that was really required for this part. So the scout is talking about Major League Scouting for baseball, and Adam Sandler, who is a huge basketball fan, he is the scout for.
Wasn't everyone from New York a huge basketball fan? Isn't that like a thing?
Certainly for him.
My man loves basketball. He loves the hoops.
This came in at 1 hour 57 minutes, so really close in runtime. And the IMDb summary: a basketball scout discovers a phenomenal street ball player while in Spain and sees this prospect as his opportunity to get back into the NBA. So basically, we have two down on their luck scouts where they come to a point in their career where it is pivotal. Their career is on the line. If they are not bringing in the next best thing or a viable option to join these teams, their careers are done. So they're getting fired. It's the exact same setup in each one. So for whatever reason, they have to be sent to, to foreign countries, but they both open with montages, which I think is a great way. I thought it was the perfect way to set up the film. That, like, within the first 5-10 minutes, we have really everything we need to know about the film, especially in the hustle. I thought it was done really well. After that opening sequence of 5 minutes, we know that Adam Sandler's a scout. We know that he's married. We know that he has a daughter. We know that people like him. We know that he has to travel a lot. We know that he's getting to a place of desperation because we see him go down a list and cross off, and we get to the very last person on the list and he crosses off and he has nowhere left to go. We get back to the home office, and then we learn what our main character really wants. We know that he doesn't want to be a scout. What he really wants to do is coach. And everything is laid out first 5 minutes, and then we're ready to go into our story. The scout, I think, labors this process a little more. And we talked about this, like, the scout has some lore. It has some legit history, because this thing, we all commented how it didn't feel like a 90s movie. It felt a little archaic. It had been written in the 80s and put off for years. They could not get this film made. And I think that should have been a sign.
They should have put it off
Quite
indefinitely.
frankly.
It definitely felt like an 80s movie. It definitely felt like that.
For sure. And the interesting casting choices that they were going with initially, like the agent was initially, or the scout was initially going to be Peter Falk. Jim Belushi was going to be the player. So, I mean, that's, when did Belushi die? Early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, at one point, Walter Matthau was going to play the scout, and Sam Kinison was going to play the baseball player. Like, what the F?
Nuts.
Yeah, the scout.
Nuts.
Oh, in a 1999 interview, Albert Brooks said that the scout was originally intended for Rodney Dangerfield. So it sounds like a lot of people were attached to this.
Yeah.
Well, it had the writer from Blazing Saddles and I mean, some big names kind of producing it, but it didn't feel that way. It felt like it was a cobbled together nonsense.
There was no actual conflict. There were several options brought up that could have been conflicts, but were like his anger management issues, whatever his deal was with his dad that was never resolved. Like there were all these things that were never, like, we never figured out why he was like angry all the time, why he didn't want to play all of a sudden. It just didn't make sense.